I'm Miss Korri, and I work at Bidwell State Preschool. Hopefully by now you've read our book, The Mitten. If not, please pick it up, read it. It's a great read. So, The Mitten takes place in the wintertime. What can you build in the wintertime? Snowmen. So we are going to do a science experiment. Yay, I love science. And we are going to build a snowman. And we're going to ask some questions, which are called a hypothesis. And we are going to document everything we do. Good scientists always document their findings. And we are going to see if anything changes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 3 cups, which we've provided for you, and you're going to put water in them, and you're going to freeze them overnight. So this does take a little prep time. Then, next day, when it's all frozen, going to take it out. We have our 2 right here. Here's 1, 2. Popped out 3. And we're building our snowman out of ice. There's my snowman. But what does a snowman need? He looks like he's just a stack of ice. So I have a mouth. I can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this real quick. Okay. So there's his mouth. Stay on there, please. Okay. And he needs a nose. Everybody needs a nose to smell. There you go. There's his nose. And 2 eyes. 1. Get on there. 2. Can you see him? There we go. There's my snowman. Okay, so I built my snowman. I used my 3 blocks of ice and I have my snowman. Now, what can we do? What kind of questions can we ask about this? We're going to do a little bit of investigating. So how tall is your snowman? Is he taller or shorter than this straw? He's definitely shorter. And I'm going to mark how tall he is so that when I melt him, when he melts, if he melts, I can see where he's at. So there's my mark. Is he taller or shorter than my Q-tip? He's definitely taller. All right, let's see what else. What else could we hypothesize about? So he was taller than the Q-tip. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I have to document. So he's taller than the Q-tip. He's shorter than the straw. Okay. But maybe I don't have a Q-tip or a straw at home. So what could I use? I have hands. I could use my hand. So let me see. Is he taller than my hand? Oh, this is kind of difficult. He's not taller than my hand. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mark on my glove. Because I'm wearing a glove. If I was just on my hand, I wouldn't do this. But I'm going to mark on my glove how tall he is. And then we'll see if he shrinks any, if he melts. So he's right there on my hand. That's how tall he is. What else could we use? We could use our marker. Is he taller or shorter than the marker? He's almost the same size. So same size. Remember to always document. Same size as marker. And slightly smaller than the hand. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quickly sketch out, which means draw, a picture of my snowman to see if there's any changes in him after I let him set. So he's kind of got a tall head and then a little bit wider body and then a kind of a round base. I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay, so there's my snowman. I'm going to draw his little face, eye, nose, mouth. All right, so there's my sketch of letting him sit for an hour. He's all built. I've measured some things. So now I'm going to make some hypothesis. What do I think is going to happen if I just let him sit out for an hour? I think he's going to melt. I think he might even melt all the way down to a puddle of water. So I'm going to write that. My first is that he's going to melt to a puddle of water. But maybe if he doesn't do that, maybe he stays the same. Maybe an hour in a warm-ish environment doesn't do anything to him, so maybe he stays the same. And then maybe there's very little changes at all. We'll have to wait and see. So those were my 3 questions. Is he going to stay the same? Is he going to melt completely away? Or is there going to be very little change and we're not even going to notice that anything happened? So now, we don't have an hour to sit here on this video. So what we did is we made 2 exactly the same, and we set one out for an hour, and then we just built this one right here. So now I'm going to get the one that we set out for an hour, and we're going to see what happened with that. I'm going to keep my tools so that I have my measurements, and I'm going to set this one out of the way, and I'm going to get the one that we already did. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Well, something I didn't predict or make a hypothesis about. His face is different. That's the first thing I noticed. I said to myself, where did his face go? So it's still there, but it's really, 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 really light. So the color faded into the snowman's water. And he doesn't look exactly the same, does he? He looks a little different. So let's start with our measuring, because we did that first. Oh my goodness. Can you see the black mark right there? Is he the same size as he was before? Or is he smaller? He's definitely smaller. Let's put a new mark. Wow, I would say he's about 1 inch smaller. Is he still bigger than the Q-tip though? Let's see. Oh, he's definitely still bigger than the Q-tip. Now, what about my hand? Is he going to be at the same mark on my hand? Oh no. My goodness. He's way down there on my hand now. He was here and now he's here. Now let's see. What else changed? Remember I drew a drawing? Now I'm going to draw an after drawing. Before he was pretty well shaped, like a rectangle. The other one had a circular body, really well shaped. What do you notice about this one? He doesn't look very well shaped, does he? I don't even know if I can draw this, but I will try. I'm never going to say I can't. I will always say I will try. I can only do my best. That's all we can ever ask. So he's got kind of a melty head. He's still cute. Kind of a melty head that melts into the second layer. That melts into the third layer, which would be the bottom piece. Oh, he's very melty. So I drew my second, oh, I gotta draw the really faint eyes. And his nose, but where did his mouth go? Oh my goodness. It's way down here and it almost has no color at all. It's on his chest. And he has almost no color at all in his mouth left. And you see all this down here? I don't know if you can see it, but it's water from where he's melted away in just 1 hour's time. So now now that we have measured everything and we found that he's super small and I redrew my drawings, we go back to our hypothesis and we see if we were right or if we were wrong. So did he melt to a puddle of water? No, he did not. So we write down, no, he did not melt into a puddle of water. Did he stay the same? Oh, absolutely not, did he? He doesn't look the same at all. Did he change very little? That's a tough call. I would say he's changed quite a bit. He shrunk almost 1 inch. And he's all wonky looking right there. So I'm going to say, no, he didn't change very little. So none of our questions were answered? we got a different answer. And sometimes in science that happens. You're trying to get an answer for something and something completely different happens. But that's the best part about science is you never know the outcome. You're always guessing. So instead, he melted quite a bit. His face changed. Remember that part where his face changed? And I was not expecting that, were you? So his face changed. And he got wonky. I did not expect him to get wonky. I thought he was just going to like stay the same, but just get smaller. He didn't. He got wonky. So I'm going to write, and he got wonky. If you don't know what wonky means, that's my way of saying he doesn't look perfectly cup-shaped like he was. He's wobbly in there and stuff, so that's my wonky. Okay, so now what should we do? We could just toss him in the sink, let him melt, forget about him. Or you could just watch him for a little bit, maybe set him off on the counter, and then come back and see if he's changed again. You could time how long it takes for him to turn into a puddle of water. If you think he's going to turn into a puddle of water, there's all kinds of things you can do. So keep making those hypotheses. Just because we did it for an hour doesn't mean you can't keep going with this activity. Keep making questions, new ones. Think about stuff in your own brain. What can you think of about this snowman? And I hope you really enjoyed this activity. In your packet that you got, it looks like this, in case you need more instructions. And don't forget to read. Oh, you know what? Would you like to see what I came up with? My drawings and stuff? My questions? This is what it looks like to document. I just had a plain piece of paper, wrote my questions out, wrote my answers out, drew my drawings. There it is. Your findings is what this is called when you do science and you write down all your information. It's your documentation and these are your findings. All right. So now, woo, things are flying. Now, I really hope you enjoyed reading The Mitten. And if you haven't, like I said, please read it. It's a cute little book and it's so neat. All right. Bye from Bidwell.